We're here with Navy freshman wide receiver Nathan Kent, who made his spectacular college debut as you can have with a 70-yard touchdown run off a reverse. Nathan, well, first of all, tell us, when you found out that you might be part of the game plan, when you got brought up to start practicing with the varsity level, what was it like for you?
I can't. I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to be here for the first place. The academy is a great place to be. To get pulled up just means the coaches can trust in me, and I still got work to do. So I'm happy I got pulled up, but there's still some stuff to do.
What do you think you showed Coach Yukaitis and the other offensive coaches that led them to decide that they wanted to bring you into the receiver rotation?
Well, I can't tell you exactly what I showed. I guess that's kind of up to them. But I just, as long as I show up every day, I hope I'm good enough to at least get something.
So now you were recruited as both a track and field athlete and a football athlete. Kind of what were your choices? I know BYU was one school. Who were some of the bigger schools that were recruiting you strictly for track and field?
For track and field, there was more of the West Coast, your Pac-12 schools for track and field. But ultimately, my goal is something beyond sports. So I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, so Coach Nehemiah felt that part of the reason why you chose the Naval Academy is this was one place where you were going to be able to pursue both football and track and field. Was that the case?
Yes, sir. The head track coach and Coach Nehemiah are working very well and working really hard to give me this opportunity, and I just want to make the most of it.
Now, your dad was a really good track athlete in college. Tell us a bit about his background. He was more of a hurdler or something, I believe?
My father was a long jump triple jumper
at
Azusa Pacific during their national championship reign, and my mother ran distance there. So that's where they met. Yes, sir.
Tell us about your accomplishments. I know you set school records at your high school for 100, 200, 400, but how did you do on a state level? Were you a state champion or in that range? Did you finish high in the state in your various events?
My junior year, or I guess we'll go back, my sophomore year was COVID. Junior year, California didn't have a state, another thing of COVID. And then my senior year, I blew my hamstring out, so I was only able to run in our state 4x4 team.
Wow, that must suck. The state championships are what you seek out every year, and you didn't really have any.
I was unfortunate not to have any, but my state 4x4 team, my senior year made up for it. So I'm more than okay with what I got.
And did you run a lot of amateur athletic union type stuff in the summers?
Growing up, I did. My parents run a youth track program, so that's what I did, but not in high school, no sir.
And what about your football accomplishments in high school?
Not too much to speak of. I just enjoyed playing the game. I love my team, so I just.
Or like all-state or something like that?
I think I got all-state, third team, but that's not what it was for me. It was just playing high school with my friends.
All right, so you said you came to the academy largely for bigger things beyond athletics. Tell us about that. What do you want to do? Why did you choose a service academy?
Well, the military is always kind of what I wanted to do, and the chance to serve my country is what I'm after. So that's the ultimate goal.
So what was it like when you got the call? They called the reverse. You were getting the ball. I mean, it's a big moment, and it could have been a bad moment because you could have been tackled in the backfield, and it would have been for a loss. But instead, you turned it into a spectacular 70-yard run. Kind of tell us about that whole moment, how the play evolved.
Well, I got lucky enough to not really have to do anything. They gave me the ball, and all they asked me to do was run. But Terrell made a great block. 40 yards down the field. Jay Armbrugger, 50 yards down the field. And when you get guys, and really brothers to me now, who are willing to go down the field and do that, it's more than just a football game, and they make my life really easy.
So in terms of your time, what did you run the 100 meters in? What was your fastest time? Do you know your PR?
My junior year, I ran a 10.7, I believe.
Okay, and what about 200?
21.6 my junior year as well.
Right. So have they ever timed you in a 40?
I haven't ran an official 40. I don't believe ever in my life.
All right, but clearly you got some jets. I mean, you were pulling away from some pretty fast defenders. Have you seen the film, and did you like what you saw in the film?
I got some pretty good blocks. I let it up pretty open, so I'm not I can always get faster, but they made it pretty easy.
So do you feel like you're close to being able to get involved in the passing game?
That's not what I'm concerned about. I got a lot to learn on the offensive side, the plays, the way the game works, and so I'm just happy to be here. I mean, I'll take scout team all I can get. I'll take any reps I can get anywhere, so I'm just happy to be here.
All right, we're here with Navy fullbacks coach Jason MacDonald. The man of the moment is Daba Fafana. Had a great game against Tulsa, 159 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. What did you like about what you saw out of Daba on Saturday?
Ball security first and foremost, and I would say the men of the moment are probably the offensive line up front. Certainly they got the job done. You know, Daba ran hard, Daba made some plays, and I think, and I made an emphasis on this in the meeting room yesterday. The play that I was most proud of him was Nathan Kent's long touchdown run. And
He
if
got
you
a
see,
block way downfield.
he did, and you see, and you know, oftentimes we have these great reverse plays. A lot of the years, the last couple of years, it's been Jaden, right? And like we're 1 block away, maybe 2 blocks away on the backside from Jaden really breaking a big one. And Nate Kent broke one. Obviously, he was turning it over pretty fast, but you see Vincent Terrell's block on that play, and you see Daba's block on that play on the backside, man. Just to me, it's the epitome of Navy football players, and those are the plays I was most proud of Daba for.
So talk about Daba's development, because Coach Niemot said in the post-game presser, you know, he's had his struggles. He's one of the guys that fumbled, and you know he's still learning. He's only a sophomore like the other guys, but obviously he took a big leap forward as a fullback on Saturday.
He did, yeah. One thing that I have to constantly remind myself of, and it's this fine line. I've got 3 pups in there, right?
Yeah,
all
right.
3 guys that play are sophomores. All 3 guys. I mean, Anton missed Saturday's game, so now he's back. He's only played 4 games. Logan didn't play much in the ECU game, so he's only playing 4 games. Daba's played in 4 games. So, you know, it's I just got to keep reminding myself these guys are starters. They're travelers. But I've only had them for 1 spring, and they've only got four games under their belt.
Right.
You
They're
know,
learning
so
as they go.
yeah, at this point 5. You know, Daba's got 5, the other 2 got 4. So I just got to keep reminding myself that they are the starters. They are the ones that are playing this year. So I got to do my best job of getting them ready to go. But they're still wet behind the ears, man. They're going to learn. They're going to learn as they go. Most sophomores that play on this football team, they're playing and they have a senior who plays the same position as them, and 2 guys might play at the same time, or they at least have a senior in the room
To help.
and the guys, when they're coming into sophomores, are just spelling people. You know, it's very rare that you get freshmen or sophomores coming into this program and playing in a position that only has 1 guy in the field at a time, and they're the oldest ones in the room at the same time. You know, so
do you feel that Daba's starting to see things better, starting to understand where the holes? I mean, clearly on Saturday, he saw a hole, went through hole, burst. You know, there was no hesitation.
there's no doubt that I think he built some confidence on Saturday. He stepped up big time with Anton down. I thought Logan had some nice runs as well. I think he's starting to see things better. That was 1 game, you know. So Friday night is a whole different story. It'll be a whole different defense with a whole different 11 guys in front of them. So just want to make sure we can do our part to see that carry over on Friday night as well.
One thing Coach Niemot mentioned that he liked is that there was a couple times when Daba ran through a tackle, and you know it's not always going to be perfect, and sometimes that's what you need your fullback is to break a tackle and get some yards that maybe weren't there.
Yeah, you know, I think the things that I always saw Daba do well in the spring, the things that I saw Anton and Logan do well in the spring, they're starting to come to fruition a little bit. And Daba is tough to bring down with 1 tackle. That's what I saw in the spring. And that's what I saw on his high school film, and that's what I saw on Saturday. So my hope is that continues, you know, because if you, like, things aren't always going to be blocked perfectly,
right.
and the other guys are coached, and the other guys meet, and the other guys go to practice too. So they're not going to sit there in a pretty defense the whole time. They're going to move around as well. So not every block is going to be picked up, and you got to make people miss, and you got to make plays. So I was happy to see him do that on Saturday.
Well, we're here with running game coordinator Ashley Ingram. We talked to you last week when the offensive line was struggling. It's only fair that we talk to you this week after the offensive line had by far its best performance this season, but possibly since 2019. Tell us how proud of you were you from the jump from 1 week to the next, and the fact that they were able to put it together and do such a tremendous job on Saturday.
I was very proud. We kind of looked like Navy football again, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said last week, obviously we weren't happy with the way we had played up to that point, but we were getting better every week.
Right, you said you were seeing it.
Yeah, it was coming, and it was the best we played. But it's not just the O-line when it's good. It's not just the O-line when it's bad. We had a lot of guys make plays too.
Right.
I mean, our running backs did a great job. Ty did a great job getting the ball to people. Defensively, we played great. It was just one of those games where maybe the whole team clicked, and I think the O-line did as well.
So Eric Catani, a former fullback, mentioned on our podcast Sunday night when we broke down the game, he saw Kip get a little nasty and he liked it. Is that good to see when your bell cow, your senior, shows a little nasty streak? And you know he did that during that game against Tulsa. That sets a tone, doesn't it?
Yes, just like we said last week, Kip missed a lot of time in spring ball. He missed a lot of time in fall camp. He had not played up to his standard the first few weeks of the season, but was playing better. And I mean, Eric saw it right. It was probably as well as Kip's played in a long time. It was awesome. And maybe that sets the tone for the rest of the guys. When the leader plays the way he played and played with that kind of intensity and that kind of effort, yeah, I think for sure it sets the tone.
So Larry Martese got his first time at center. What did you think he brought to the table? I noticed on one particular successful running play, he clearly won his matchup. I saw him bury a guy.
Right.
Do you feel like Larry brings what you thought he could bring?
Yes. He's big, he's strong, he's played before. We've had to kind of ease him back in because of the knee injury. I thought he played well in a limited role, and I think we'll just keep adding to his reps as the weeks go by. Yeah, but I'm super excited to have him back and super excited about the way he played in the limited role that he had.
And so there was one point where you went with a lineup of Martese and then Ahmad Bradley at left guard, and then you bumped Connor McMahon back out to left tackle where he's originally played. What did you like of that lineup?
Connor had played tackle, and skill set wise, maybe that's what he's best suited for. He's long, he's athletic, he can run,
move.
He can move, yeah. And then Ahmad is big, he's strong. You got Lyrion, who's another 300-pound plus guy. So to have those, three together, two big guys inside, a more athletic guy at tackle, is kind of really what we've always wanted in this offense. And Ahmad played better than he has played in the weeks prior. So we just got to keep working on combinations, and would love to have had all this figured out before now, but it is what it is, and we're just pushing to try to figure out how to get the best five guys on the field at the same time.
So when the offensive line didn't perform up to your expectations, you told them to put it behind and let's move forward and get better. But now that they've had a good game, you don't want to have too much of this. You guys are great. They got to keep it up, right?
The same message. Put it behind you, and we got to get better. And we played well, but we've played 5 games now, so we played well once. So obviously it's not time to start patting ourselves on the back. And if you look at our schedule, to beat the teams that are left on our schedule, we have to play better than what we've played. We were happy with the way they've progressed. We were happy with the way they played against Tulsa, but we've moved on, and we're going to have to play much better Friday night to have a chance to beat SMU.